Hello guys, it's me Bloxy. Today I am reacting to a world record that will never be broken. Let's go watch the video.
This is Skitsuna, who's one of the best Roblox obby players in the world, and he has beaten many of the hardest obbies in Roblox. But these pale in comparison to his hardest achievement in obbying, which is so hard, it might be the hardest thing ever achieved in the entirety of Roblox. This is Skitsuna's world record in Before the video begins, make sure to like and subscribe to this video. These videos take a while to make, and only 2% of my viewers are subscribed. Okay, back to the Citadel of Void is one of the hardest obbies ever made on Roblox. And even despite it being completely humanly impossible, there's one person who tries to get as far as he can within this impossible citadel. And he is the aforementioned Skitsuna. But how did Skitsuna get to playing Citadel of Void? What is his world record? And why is it never being beaten? Skitsuna first played Citadel of Void back in 2019, 6 whole years ago. And to say the least, he wasn't nearly as good back then as he is now, and could only do around 1/5 of the jumps only from floors 1 to 7, when the Citadel has 22 floors in total. And he thought even beating one of these floors by themselves wasn't possible. Now, fast forward to 2021, Skitsuna would start grinding floor 1 of the Citadel. This floor was pretty simple in nature, consisting mostly of long jumps and thin studs. But the jumps were difficult, especially for the time. And when he beat it, he would become the first person to make it to the 2nd floor, giving him the Citadel of Void world record. And even 3 years later, no one else even dared to try and beat this. So this world record would last all the way until April 2024, when Skit himself decided to come back to the Citadel and would shatter his own record time and time again. Skit would make it to floor 3, passing the 2nd floor, which is quite different from floor 1, having much more technical and complicated gameplay that often requires certain alignments or strats to pass its jumps consistently. But he would pass this floor, cementing himself another world record in the Citadel. But unlike last time, he wouldn't take a massive break and would continue to grind out the Citadel in the coming months. The next floor he would have to beat is floor 3, which is considerably harder than the first 2 floors, and features some ridiculous difficulty spikes like this jump and this jump. So despite the difficulty, Skitsuna would get right to grinding. On May 2024, Skit would reach floor 4 for the first time, and almost immediately after, would start trying to make it to the infamous floor 5, which I'll get into.
I wonder how hard is floor 5. Hopefully he completes it. And also sorry, pausing the video. Let's continue the video.
I didn't even explain floor 4 yet, bruh. This floor is the longest but also the easiest of the first 4 floors, with its main gimmick having 4 buttons you need to press before getting access to the next floor. But as Skit says in his commentary video, there's not a whole lot to talk about. But despite it being the easiest floor he would encounter, Skit would unluckily fail this floor 11 times before finally making his way to what is by far the hardest floor encountered yet. Floor 5. Floor 5,
of course,
So there I was.
as many know, is a floor that is basically entirely made of wall hops. And beating floor 5 by itself is harder than reaching floor 5. Source? Skitsuna. But what makes this floor harder than all the previous floors combined? Well, for starters, It's the longest floor so far, taking around 5 minutes to just complete this single floor.
Sorry for pausing the video again. I'm decent at wall hopping, but I can't do for 5 minutes. Let's continue the vid.
Secondly, and more importantly, it's hard as hell and requires a lot of not only wall hop skill, but muscle memory, stamina, and nerve control. To put it into perspective, you are not only wall hopping for almost 5 minutes straight, but you have to blindly wall hop backwards 2 times, turn around mid-air, then switch from your alignment keys to your mouse mid-wall hop in around 0.5 seconds.
How? Let's continue the video.
All to just do this next part properly. After that, the next difficult section is these beat blocks plus disappearing section, where, first off, if you just happen to reach the beat blocks at a bad time, it's completely impossible to even pass this part, making floor 5 literal RNG. And secondly, even if you luck out and pass that, you have to do some invisible wall hops because everyone likes them and it's good game design.
I have no words.
Now, if you pass that, you get your break by wall hopping around walls, wall hopping outside the frame of the citadel, meaning all fails are instant death, going back inside and wall hopping on the floor's frame, then going back outside and wall hopping on the floor's frame. Okay, you know what? Let's just skip to what's the hardest part of the entire world record run. This outside wall hop section may not look too threatening at a glance, but trust me, this section, especially on top of the fact it's the very last section of floor 5 and completely suspended over nothing, has the hardest raw difficulty of any part in the tower thus far. What it is alternating wall hops that when performed successfully look like this, and you have to do it for 30 seconds with no breaks. This part is a nightmare when it comes to trying to reach floor 6, as the nerves could not be any higher when you reach here. And because of this, along with everything else in this floor I mentioned, this is by far the hardest floor of the tower so far. And with floor 5 being so hard, you wouldn't expect Skit to make it very far into floor 5 after just reaching it, right? On June 1st of 2024, Skit would make it basically halfway into floor 5, fluking all the way to the beat block wall hops before falling. Making it that far into floor 5, especially on one of Skit's first runs to the floor, was insane for the time. It was so hard, in fact, that it was even coined by some to be the hardest achievement ever made in obbying. And with that, Skit thought that this record would be unbeatable, titling his world record video as so. And after uploading his world record, he would mostly drop the Citadel, only playing it here and there, and not really attempting any more world record runs, thinking that this run to the middle of 5 would remain as the eternal world record. But only 1 year later, in 2025, Skitsuna would return to the Citadel of Void, and his ultimate goal? Beat his world record. Skit had first made the goal of beating floor 5 by itself, without the first 4 floors, and he would beat it much earlier than expected. In June of 2025, after only attempting it for a few days, he would pass floor 5 for the first time, and was now on floor 6. Now, I should probably tell you that floor 6 is by far the easiest floor of almost the entire Citadel, and yes, way easier than floor 4. So after all flooring floor 5, he would make his way through floor 6, and past that as well, making it to the 7th floor. This now meant he had a run from floors 1 to 5 and floors 5 to 7, meaning he had reached floor 7 in only 2 runs, but thought, reaching floor 7 legit, that will never be done. Skitsuna, June 30th, 2025.
Honey, sleep.
On September 11th, 2025, after failing floor 5 over 30 times, Skit would finally pass it, making it to floor 6. But would he fluke this floor like in his 5 to 7 run? Skitsuna had now made it to floor 7. And you might be wondering, well, what is floor 7 like? Well, Skit had actually all floored floor 7 as well, but this floor was roughly the same difficulty as floor 5, so he had very low hopes for actually passing it. But could he do it? Skit would fail what is considered to be the hardest jump of floor 7, ending his run, but in doing so, setting a new world record that is likely to never be broken, and being the first and maybe last person to get an automated farm message in Citadel of Void. But just how hard is this world record? Is it the hardest thing ever done on Roblox? When it comes to the difficulty of Skit's Citadel of Void world record, there's a lot of mixed opinions. Many think it's the top 1 hardest obby achievement, while some others think it's barely even in the top 5. But after getting some opinions from top players who have experience with Citadel of Void, it's almost certainly the hardest obby accomplishment as of September 2025. And yes, harder than Tower of Wigglecore. The opinions I got, which I'll put on the screen right now, all said that this world record was mid-Unreal or mid-high Unreal, with the more experienced grinders saying that it's mid-high Unreal. So based off of that, it's pretty safe to say that this is the hardest thing ever done in obbying. But what about Roblox as a whole? Well, if we look at the hardest accomplishments in video games
Let me find where Roblox is. I see it. It's on top 20th. Let's go continue the video.
You'll see Roblox only has one entry, at 20th place, being Tower of Wigglecore, an obby. And since this world record is likely harder than that, that means that this is the hardest thing ever done on Roblox. While there may be some people who disagree, one thing is for sure, no one is ever breaking this record, with no one else other than Skitsuna even getting to floor 5, and Skitsuna himself saying he doesn't plan on trying to break this world record ever. Hey guys, it's Skitsuna fun fact time. Or should I say I'm indoctrinating you. From now on, especially when speaking to Skitsuna, make sure you call him Little Skittle. Around a week ago, I got enough people to say it so that we got this AI overview of his stream. But we need to make it a permanent nickname. Also, don't worry, I'm not turning into an amusing thing with this video. Skitsuna forced me to make this. Make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to learn more about Citadel Void and why it's completely impossible, watch my video about it right here. Alrighty, goodbye.
That's the end of the video, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe.